2 days before my sister's wedding, she called me sobbing. I told Aunt Vicky you were engaged and now you have to show up with a fiancé. I don't have a fiancé, I said, confused about why my sister Bianca was crying so hard. I know, that's why you need to hire one. Aunt Vicky is flying in specifically to meet him, and if you show up alone, she'll make comments during my entire reception. Aunt Vicky had spent last Thanksgiving telling extended family why I was disappointing. 2 hours of explaining why I'd never amount to anything. The thought of her ruining Bianca's wedding made me agree to something insane. I scrolled through Craigslist ads until I found Rick. Clean cut photo, reasonable price, good reviews. We met at Starbucks and he looked normal, handsome even. I've done this before, he said confidently. I created our entire fake relationship. We met at a bookstore 6 months ago. He proposed at the beach, planning a spring wedding. He worked in marketing, loved hiking. I drilled him on every detail. My mom's name, my favorite food, our engagement story. He memorized everything perfectly, too perfectly. I should have realized something was off, but I was desperate, so I paid him half up front and told him to meet me at the venue Saturday. Simple plan, show up, charm Aunt Vicky for 3 hours, collect payment, leave. What could go wrong? The ceremony was flawless. Rick held my hand during vows and whispered sweet things that almost felt real. But when Bianca started walking down the aisle, I felt Rick's entire body go tense beside me. His hand went cold and clammy. You okay? I whispered. He didn't answer, just stared at Bianca like he'd seen a ghost. I figured he was just nervous about the acting job. Aunt Vicky watched from 3 rows back, judging, but Rick quickly recovered and charmed everyone. He laughed at my dad's jokes, complimented my mom, even got Aunt Vicky to smile. Finally, Leah found someone with sense, she said loud enough for others to hear. For the first time ever, she wasn't criticizing me. The reception started perfectly. Dinner was great. I was relaxing, thinking we pulled it off. Then Rick suddenly stood up during speeches and grabbed the microphone. Rick, what are you doing? I whispered. He ignored me. I wasn't planning to say anything tonight, but being here made me realize I can't keep pretending anymore. The entire reception turned to look at us. Real tears streamed down his face. These past 6 months have been the best of my life. You're everything I never knew I needed. Oh God, this wasn't the plan. People pulled out phones, recording. I don't want to waste another second living a lie. He got down on one knee and pulled out a velvet box with an actual diamond ring. Will you marry me? For real this time? The room gasped. Someone screamed. Aunt Vicky stood up beaming. My mom cried happy tears. Bianca looked horrified. The DJ cut the music. 200 people stared, waiting. Say yes, say yes. People started chanting. My mom was filming. I looked at Bianca, who was mouthing, what the hell? At me. I can't, I finally said. Rick looked genuinely hurt. Why not? Because you're an actor I hired off Craigslist 2 days ago. Everyone went silent. Then chaos. Aunt Vicky shrieked from across the room. She hired him? She hired him? My mom looked like she might faint. My dad's face went bright red. Rick was still on one knee, but his expression transformed from emotional to furious. Are you seriously going to humiliate me like this? He asked. In front of everyone? You're humiliating me, I shouted back. And my sister. This is her wedding. People were recording on their phones. Multiple cameras pointed at us. You knew this was fake, I said to Rick. You knew. Bianca ran over from the head table, her wedding dress flowing behind her. Leah, what the hell is going on? She demanded. I hired him to be my fake fiancé because you told me I needed to show up engaged. I was crying now, my voice breaking. So Aunt Vicky wouldn't judge me. Bianca stared at Rick and I watched her face cycle through emotions. Confusion, then recognition, then shock, then horror, then absolute fury. Rick, she whispered. Rick Lopez? Rick stood up slowly, abandoning the ring and the fake proposal. He looked directly at Bianca. Hey, Bianca. I looked between them, completely lost. Wait, you two know each other? Bianca's hands were shaking. Her new husband Tony came up behind her. What's happening? He asked. Bianca kept staring at Rick, tears filling her eyes. He's my ex-boyfriend, she said quietly. We dated for 3 years. Bianca dragged us into a side room while Tony tried to calm guests. Rick finally confessed. He'd seen Bianca's wedding announcement months ago and found my Craigslist ad. He responded knowing exactly who I was. His plan was revenge show up and ruin Bianca's wedding because he couldn't handle watching her marry someone else. But during the rehearsal dinner, he'd actually started falling for me. When he stood up to propose, his revenge plan and real feelings collided, and he did both at once. Security escorted Rick out. Aunt Vicky told everyone our family was a disaster. Bianca didn't speak to me for 4 months. Turns out hiring a stranger to lie to your family is a terrible idea, especially when that stranger is your sister's ex-boyfriend with a revenge plan.